So I like to take a moment to talk about all my seniors. And again, one of the great things about teaching in a small school like PA is that you can build relationships so much with the students. I've taught all these students for 6 or 7 years, and I really get to know them well. And it's really, really hard to say goodbye. So I appreciate that not all of you are senior parents, but I hope that you'll give us a few minutes to do a little tribute to each of these seniors who have given so much to this band program and who we really, really appreciate. I meant to bring a program up in case I forget what college they're going to, because that's what always trips me up. But I always do, I don't have notes, I always just kind of talk about the kids from the heart. But I hope I can remember what colleges and what their majors are, because we'll see. But I'm going to start with Aster here, who is just like the most genuine and kind and wonderful person you will ever meet. Has become a tremendous growth on the trumpet, especially just this last year after joining jazz band. I think it had a huge impact. Aster is just tremendous, but again, just a huge heart. I think one thing that really encapsulates Aster that always sticks with me about him is when the tornado hit last year, and I know a lot of PA students went out and volunteered, and it was just really, really cool to see so many PA students get involved in the community to try to help when so many people had so much damage. But we got an email from Ms. Castleberry about a list compiled by Aster here, who had a whole list of charities and links to their websites and what services those charities provide. It was broken up into lists of like, here's what you can donate to and what they're asking for. And then if you had something happen to your home, because obviously some of us in the PA community had homes damaged, and so there was a list, links, places where you could find your resources. And just again, this enormous compiled list aggregated by Aster just to try to help people, which I think is really, really cool. Absolutely love Aster to death, and we will miss him so much. He put on his bio that he hopes he could inspire some of these underclassmen the way he was inspired by the upperclassmen above him. And I just think that's really, really cool. A neat thing that I hadn't seen in a bio before. And I think it says a lot. And I think you have, Aster. You've definitely inspired me to want to be a better person too, and I appreciate that about you. So, Aster is headed to the University of Tulsa to major in environmental science and women's and gender studies. So, congratulations, Aster. After I talk to you, you can go to the end of the line. Stay up here, please. Next, we have Nico. Man, I wish every single person in the band had as much fun making music as Nico has. It's so cool. I feel like if you watch the percussion ensemble, can y'all just see it that Nico was having like the most fun of everybody in the percussion ensemble? He does it in the drum line too. He does it when he plays the saxophone too. He does it when he plays the piano too. He's an enormously talented musician, so deserving of that John Philip Sousa Award. I'm really excited that you won that award. Outstanding musician, and just such a likable person. Absolutely love Nico to death. He's headed off to UCLA to study electrical engineering. I'm not surprised I got a hug from Nico. Absolutely, love hugs. All right, Thomas. Man, this guy, he is. I think I'm going to steal something from Coach Barnhill, actually. He signed with Huntington College to wrestle for them in college, which is just so cool. He's such a strong guy, stout guy. And Coach Barnhill mentioned that he just embodies the core values so much. And that is how I've always felt about Thomas. Like, you will not meet a more respectful person than Thomas Gamble. You will not meet somebody with more integrity than Thomas. You will not meet somebody more responsible than Thomas. You will not meet somebody with more honor than Thomas. And which one did I forget? Hang on, I'm in front of people. I get nervous. What's that? Excellence! Excellence, of course! And he definitely embodies excellence. He was the one that actually was right there next to Galen for the Patrick S. Gilmore Award. It was actually 1 vote difference. And I could have given it to both of them because absolutely both deserve it. But Thomas has just meant so much to this band program over the years, and we will miss him as he goes over to wrestle and study physical therapy and exercise science at Huntington College. Zoe's special. Zoe's so special. I was really excited for Zoe to get the Most Improved award from her peers because Zoe has improved a tremendous amount. And Zoe never gives herself credit for how much she's improving. She's always thinking about the parts of the music that are still giving her trouble, and she's very down on herself sometimes. So I was excited that her peers recognize how good she is, and maybe she'll start to realize how great she is too. But a couple of things really will always stand out to me about Zoe. I actually meant to bring it. But when Zoe was in 7th grade, my first child was born. And her name is Charlotte Gail Martins. And Zoe, an art student, a wonderful artist in the 7th grade, made this beautiful little calligraphy. It was a three-part picture frame, and in one part she had done a calligraphy of Charlotte, the next one Gail, and the next one Martins. And it was just like, oh, and now it's still sitting in my office, and I look at it all the time. It makes me think of Charlotte, which makes me happy. Also makes me think of Zoe, which makes me happy. And Zoe's just fantastic. Another thing special about Zoe is, as you would probably guess, we had more than 6 people sign up for band 7 years ago, right? And we have a graduating class of 6. All right, some students decide band's not their thing. That's totally fine. Some students just can't fit it in. There are so many students at PA that just want to do so many things. So I really appreciate all these students that stick with it. It's really great to me that band means that much to you, that you would prioritize it over your other academics or extracurriculars that you want to do. But so many of those students that can't fit it into a schedule, they say, Mr. Martins, I can't fit it this year, but next year I'm coming back. And I say, okay, we'll see. All these years, I've heard that probably 40, 45, 50 times. 1 student ever in the history of PA's band has actually come back. And that was Zoe, who had band in her schedule in 8th grade, and we missed her for 8th grade and 9th grade and 10th grade. And then I was just stunned in 11th grade when Zoe came back. And she was so down on herself because all her friends were better than her, but she kept working hard, and now she's just a fabulous clarinet and bass clarinet player, and we have loved having her so much. So the only downside is, I wish I could have had Zoe for more years of band, but it's okay, because I've really enjoyed my time with Zoe, and we will miss her as she heads to Purdue to study, don't tell me, industrial engineering. Galen is fantastic. Absolutely so deserving of that Patrick S. Gilmore Award. Again, it was between him and Thomas. It was neck and neck. Galen won out because he absolutely does embody the spirit of the band. Everything you want in a band musician. This guy does it. A fantastic section leader. He has really stood out to me as a section leader because Galen really wants all the flutes to be able to play every part perfectly. It's really cool. I think all the section leaders try hard. Everybody's trying to get everybody, but it's almost like he takes it personally if the flutes can't all get it. He really wants them to succeed, which is just like the most important attribute of a section leader, and I love that, absolutely love that about Galen. Very cool. Galen was one that he was always good at the flute, and when he was younger though, he didn't practice as much as he does now, and he would be the first to admit that. In fact, at one point he thought about dropping band. He says, because I just don't have time to practice, Mr. Martins, I'm not practicing enough. And I said, Galen, you may feel like you're not practicing enough, but you're playing every part right on everything we play, so I want you to stay in band and keep practicing as much as you can, but it's okay if you can't find as much time to practice. And thankfully, he stayed in band, and then amazingly, his, junior year, I guess, was it? Maybe into sophomore year? A few years later, he all of a sudden started finding this time to practice, and he went from being this good musician that couldn't quite find enough time to practice to be great to being a really, really great musician. So I really, really appreciate Galen. I appreciate his hard work. I appreciate everything he's brought to the band, both as a flautist and as a leader. Thank you so much to Galen, who is heading to, he just changed it on me. It's wrong in the program. He's going to Boston University to study data science. And last but certainly not least, we have Savin Yu. Yeah! Woo! I love Savin. He's very shy, he's very introverted. It's tough to get him out of his shell. But he's a great guy, and he works really hard. Back in 7th grade, I'm going to pick on him just a little bit. Because back in 7th grade, he actually kind of struggled in band. And I pegged him for a kid that didn't practice enough, believe it or not. And then he did amazingly at all region. And I was just like, how is this guy that can't play these easy exercises in the book making the all region band? It's because he was just practicing all region stuff and he wasn't worried about the stuff we were doing in class. Which is the first time I've ever seen that from any student. Thankfully, I was able to convince him after that in 7th grade that the stuff we play in class is important too. And since then, he has been a tremendous player, not just at all region competitions, but also in the middle school band and in the upper school band. A fabulous clarinet player, a wonderful person. And he's going to study marine biology, which is really cool. As of the time the programs were written, hadn't decided between Washington or UC San Diego. Still undecided. UC San Diego or Washington to study marine biology, but we will be missing him from the high school band. Thank you, Savin, for everything. Again, this is a really, really special senior class. Can we give one more huge round of applause for this year's seniors?